Okay, we'll move into our next order of business, which is the administrative section of our agenda. Have a motion, please.
I'll move.
Ms. Smith?
Second.
Mr. Welch? Mrs. Lewis?
Okay. Item A, to rescind the board action of June 12, 2012, approving a contract with Big Sandy Superstore Arena. Item B, to approve a graduation date for Lincoln County High School on Saturday, May the 25th, 2013, to be held at the Hamlin Lions Field, weather permitting. The LCHS gymnasium will be utilized if weather prohibits an outdoor ceremony. Item C, to approve an agreement with Larry Owens to grant and convey to the Lincoln County Board of Education the exclusive right and option to purchase on or before December 31st, 2013, a parcel of real estate containing 1 acre, more or less, for the sum of $40,000. Said parcel shall be the site of a proposed Duval Midway Pre-K 5 school, provided a school bond is approved by voters, to further approve the payment of $100 to Larry Owens as earnest money. Item D, to approve an agreement with Sarah Parsons to grant and convey to the Lincoln County Board of Education the exclusive right and option to purchase on or before December 31st, 2013, a parcel of real estate containing 6.10 acres, more or less, for the sum of $250,000. Said parcel shall be the site of a proposed Duval Midway Pre-K 5 school, provided a school bond is approved by voters, to further approve the payment of $100 to Sarah Parsons as earnest money. Item E, to approve an agreement with Julie Clagg to grant and convey to the Lincoln County Board of Education the exclusive right and option to purchase on or before December 31st, 2013, a parcel of real estate containing 3.548 acres, more or less, for the sum of $200,000. Said parcel shall be the site of a proposed Duval Midway Pre-K 5 school, provided a school bond is approved by voters, to further approve the payment of $100 to Julie Clegg as earnest money. Item F, to approve an agreement with Billy Erskine to grant and convey to the Lincoln County Board of Education the exclusive right and option to purchase on or before December 31st, 2013, a parcel of real estate containing 3.548 acres, more or less, for the sum of $120,000. Said parcel shall be the site of a proposed Duval Midway Pre-K 5 school, provided a school bond is approved by voters, to further approve the payment of $100 to Billy Erskine as earnest money. Item G, an out-of-state trip for Duval Pre-K 8 students to Washington, D.C., May 21st through the 23rd, 2013, with all expenses paid by the group, transported by Spring Valley Charters.
It's a mouthful, wasn't
It was.
Any members of the board have any questions or areas you'd like to discuss?
I would like to say to Ms. Beaver, your suggestions I thought were just wonderful, to have an exit and an entry on each end. I think that is great. And I think if we plan ahead prior to graduation, that we can get people to realize they can park at the high school and they will make it there on time. But I do think I'm in favor of having it here. I don't like the idea of all the kids having to climb in a car and drive into Charleston or Huntington. But there was a lot of things that could have been done differently. And as far as the tents, I think that if they're placed just right, the way it is now, the guys in the stands are looking at the backs of the graduates. That's what they're getting to see. They're getting to see our face, but the backs of the graduates. And if we did it like you said, on both sides, then they would be looking, you know, they would see more of the graduates themselves. We can still sit up there in the front without a tent. If we pass out, just kick us aside. But I think your suggestions are wonderful. But I think, you know, having it at this field over there is probably my favorite idea.
Well, I'm gonna agree with that. I think there, a lot more planning could be made. I know I burned the top of my head. Okay, so.
There's not much we do about that.
Yes, sir. I think you had some real good suggestions, I really do.
Well, I concur with that, particularly the idea of having a shuttle bus that we could provide that. The board, I'm sure, would be willing to do that and have buses that would bring people back, because we've all, I know, I don't even try to go over there anymore. You know, I park up here near the phone company or somewhere and walk down there. But so that is a worthwhile suggestion, one I'm sure that would be considered by Mr. Snyder as he makes preparations, regardless of where the graduation may be.
Yes, sir.
Dana, I'd like to know, going into the, you know, this is kind of a two-phased motion we have here. One is where it's going to be, and the other is when it's going to be. And you heard Ms. Hughes here, the president of your senior class, requested it be done earlier. Now, have you had any calls or comments from anyone who feels differently from that?
I've had two conversations that are not in favor of.
And they wanted.
One was with Ms. Beaver, obviously, and then
I'll speak for itself.
and also a phone call from the Duval area that someone had, I guess, would you want to stand up here?
Sure. Come on.
I had a phone call from a parent in the Duval area that had already scheduled a vacation. And they were concerned about being able to get back for the graduation if we would change the date. That was the only concern that they had had.
Anybody have anything, Mr. Snyder, about myself?
Are you comfortable with all this?
I want to do what my seniors want to do. I've already graduated, we've all graduated, they've not. This is their graduation ceremony, and if we can accommodate, I think we should do our very best to if we can.
I think I'm like you. I've had some conversations of those who, you know, since it's been several months that we've you know, identified June the 1st as a date, that they've made plans. And recently I had somebody call me and told me that in the past, they were glad that we weren't having it on the Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend, because that kept their family from, in the past, that's when they had done things over the Memorial Day weekend. They kept them confined, and they had to stay here, you know, due to graduation. They weren't able to maybe go to Myrtle Beach or wherever you go.
And our thought is to try to do something in the kind of late, early evening when the sun's down. So, because they have lights over there if we go into the field. So maybe the temperature would drop 10 to 15 degrees also.
Well, hopefully address some of Ms. Beaver's concerns. I mean, you know.
Well, I'd actually like to ask her to be a part of our committee.
I'd be
To do
more
that.
than happy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because maybe, I think, I don't know how everyone feels here, but should we go to the lines, but we need to modify this. I mean, you know, as we heard there, you know, and you know, well, you've been there when we went to the gym, and, you know, everybody was allotted 2 seats or whatever it was, and then a lot of people didn't like that, understandably why. But we want to come up with some reasonable thing that we can all live with, and then certainly the experience that these youngsters are going to have, you know, it's one time in their life, and we want it to be a good one for them. So having it of the evenings, and maybe modifying, had you thought about that already, of modifying the setup? I thought I heard that. And we take these things with the committee to consider them. Okay. Anybody have anything else? But once again, I guess there are questions are 2. One, when we're going to have it, and secondly, where we're going to have it. Both of those are listed here, and we get ready to cast our votes, I guess. I don't know if anybody has any objections. Anybody have anything to Mr. Snyder? Or Ms. Hughes or Ms. B? Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Dan. Okay. And on the areas dealing with the land, could we have like either yourself or maybe Mr. Midkiff to give us kind of an overview of where we are on this? And is this, I'm going to kind of set you up here.
That's okay.
Is this all of the landowners? Are there others that aren't involved here? Kind of where are we, Jeff, on this whole thing?
There is one other landowner, and that was the additional roughly 6 acres of property that we hope to be able to purchase looking down the road. At some point that we may want to build some baseball and softball fields. That property, Dana, you may give a little more information, kind of where we are with the survey and what's going on there.
We've been on site on several days trying to figure out the usable land on this particular person's property. He is agreeable to sell at the same rate that we bought acreage from others, and the surveyors are currently working on getting the exact map of his property, but everything is going smoothly.
And he's agreeable to the same rate?
He's agreeable. There'll not be any problems there.
Are there any buildings on his?
No, there is not, so it'll just be the price per acre.
As we've noticed here, that one can't just take the number of acres and come to a common per acre value. Could you explain why that is?
And what we offered these property owners was approximately $30,000 an acre, as well as the value of their home that they have on that property, or other structures that may be on the property. So that's what gives you the difference in the amounts that you see there.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay. Now, on our bond issue, and all these things are contingent, all these purchases are contingent upon the bond passing, as
That's
it's stated here. Now, we have, what, $1 million allocated for this at the Samaritan School out of bond funds, is that true?
That's correct.
And I guess once you talk about, if we were able to come to an agreement with the gentleman that Dana's talking about, we still maybe have less than that, but that other money would be used for site work.
Right, that's the plan for the money.
So everybody will understand. I know when you first see this, and if you kind of scrutinize things, and you say, well, you know, they've got so much money allocated for this, and it doesn't look like they're spending all of it, what's going to happen? So I'd just like for us to let the public know, you know, what our intentions are, so we're very clear on that. Okay, anything else about that? That wasn't too bad, was it? All right. And then
If
the
you're
only-
gonna ask me, I was gonna refer to him.
I knew you were. He knew it was coming. Okay. All right, if there's no further questions or comments, then I'll call for questions. All those in favor of items A through G signify by saying yes, please.
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Smith, for you, yes?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be an all yes vote. So we're going to accommodate your all's requests. We want you to enjoy that. Plus, I want to be able to sit in church with, knowing that you're all behind me and that you're smiling at me. No, we understand why you want to do what you're doing, Paige, and you're doing well in representing your class. But at the same time, we understand where Ms. Beaver's coming from. You know, because we've all seen the pros and cons of all these things. We want to get a middle ground here that's best for all of us and kids, and it's safe for everybody too. So maybe if we have in the evening and restructure things and make, like Carol said, if we have some new entrances and shuttle buses and all, that we can do things that will be helpful at all. And above all else, pray that we don't have any running until we get out of it. Okay. All right, we'll go on to the next item then, please. Next is our finance section.